16, she steps back, has a good look, and nails it for a 3-0 win.
Double two. Oh, what a finish. What a little spell from nowhere. Double nine for another one. Oh, wow. Brilliant from DeVos.
This is for another breakthrough.
Game shot the third leg. Run Meulenkamp.
Certainties towards his equipment. The bullseye for a shake. Well, it doesn't matter what darts he's using.
Hi there, welcome along to Thursday night at the Modus Super Series, where we have got royalty in the building tonight. We've got a queen and a prince in action tonight, but a couple of paupers in the studio, myself and Matthew Egg are guiding you through the action. Before we get into tonight, Matt, just wanted to get your reflections on this afternoon. It was the wizard who conjured up all the wins, maximum points for Colin Osborne.
I think I'm going to be quite boring in my assessment of this and say it's job done. I really do think Group C, we've got our top two there. Colin Osborne, 5 from 5. Stuart Kellett going through the field of everybody other than Colin Osborne. And I think I can see pretty similar happening tomorrow. The standard those two put in over the day, the consistency, the key moments, they've done it before. I think they're going to do it again.
And we mentioned it when we were talking through Group A earlier in the week. Colin Osborne was a man who knew exactly about this format, and he's kind of proved that to be the case today.
Well, if we think about what I compared him to, it was that of Mike Warburton of last week, and he's done the exact same thing that Warby did last week, go into Thursday and win all 5 games. Puts him in a very, very strong position. He was the odds-on favourite to win the group beforehand. I wouldn't be surprised if Colin Osborne goes through the card again tomorrow, because it's only him that can really beat him in there on the levels that he's shown this week. Even though it's not been quite full Colin Osborne, it's still been more than enough for that Group C.
Yeah, he's in an excellent position. He's looking to join Connor Scutt in finals night. Scutt winning Group A on Wednesday. Osborne top of Group C, as we just mentioned. A lot of sort of debutants and new faces in that group. But Group B tonight, Matt, some very, very familiar names on that list.
I think we're going to have a lot of eyes on us tonight. I think we've got 2 players there that people really love to watch. Fallon Sherrock, the Queen of the Palace, recently hitting the final at the Women's World Match Play. And also Ashley Coleman, who's been doing a lot of streaming work and has been playing some good darts this week and really sort of giving the backers and the people that support him something to really get behind. They're going to want to see him get through this because they want to be here on Saturday. But I think them 2 players are going to put a lot of eyes on this group.
Let's stay on Ashley Coleman because, yeah, he does have a lot of eyes on him because of the streaming he does, the social media work with the darts referee and all that kind of thing. But as you say, he played some really good darts, 24 points and didn't go through.
I think when he first came here, I don't think I'm going to discredit him by almost calling him. When we look at the players, we go, right, that's a group potential winner. We've got all these, and then sometimes you put someone in and think maybe they're a bit novelty. I don't think that's harsh to say on Ashley where he was a year ago, but that was a year ago. He's not that no more. He's not someone who's in here as a bit of a one-off. How is he going to get on? Is this a bit of a novelty act? He's here as a serious dart player. The improvement he's had over the last 12 months has been absolutely incredible, and part of that will be to the exposure and the opportunities he's got. A year ago, he wasn't really able to go to the Challenge Tour events, weren't able to afford to attend all of them. Now he's attending them, gaining that experience, did well at Q School. And dare I say, I've said it before already, I think we could be looking at someone here that come Q School is going to be a contender.
Yeah, played and beat Fallon Sherrock at the last Q School as well. What of her coming in from that World Match Play? I don't want to say disappointment, but defeat in the final against Beau Greaves. Good to be back on the stage straight away.
I think disappointment would probably be the way forward for Fallon. She'd have gone there wanting that title back. She was the first ever winner of that trophy, lost it to Beau Greaves last year, and would have wanted that back to guarantee not just the title, not just the £10,000, but also that place at the Alexandra Palace, the Grand Slam spot. There was a lot riding on that game, so she would have been disappointed. But the great thing about darts is there's always something else to look forward to, and you need that on the horizon. When you go, right, okay, that didn't work, but I can build for this now. You don't tend to have disappointment because you go from one straight to the next.
Absolutely. Let's see how the bookies have priced things up this evening then. Fallon Sherrock sitting in the middle of the pack. Tony O'Shea's a huge outsider. There are reasons for that. He has been struggling a little bit this year physically. Ashley Coleman, joint favourite with Ron Meulenkamp. That's a big sign of respect for Ashley Coleman from the bookies there.
Exactly what I was just saying a moment ago. Put this group You know, a year ago, he'd have probably been where Gert DeVos is as 4th favourite for the group. But now he's regarded not just as someone who does some streaming and someone who plays and someone who's a bit of a social media character. He's now defined as a serious dart player. And he's thrown some serious darts, but not in patches, consistently good darts. He's often been in that high 80s, which if he continues that, we're going to see him go up the Challenge Tour Order of Merit, we're going to see him do good things, and he could be someone who rivals this weekly title.
Yeah, just quickly, he finished with pretty much double the points of Gert DeVos, so we're going to see Gert now. They're both starting on 0. Gert's playing Fallon Sherrock. Did you see enough from him in Group A to suggest that he can get through this group?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He played very well in patches, did Gert DeVos. Just needs to be... It was the setup play. It was those where you're looking at going out in 6 starts, he was taking 9. And in that Group A, he didn't get away with that. He's going to be up against it again in this group. But one thing we know about Gert DeVos, he hasn't played a lot of darts recently. And I did say at the start of the week that Group A, I don't think we see the best of him. I think that comes at the back end of the week. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Gert DeVos step it up a notch.
We'll hear more from you in the commentary box. But the time has come to get the action underway. The Queen is here in our palace in Portsmouth. Fallon Sherrock going to take on Gert DeVos in the opening match, and I had a chat with Fallon earlier tonight. Fallon, welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Back from the women's match play in Blackpool. Just sum up how you feel after that.
Yeah, no, I feel all right. You know, making the final of the match play, I mean, what better could I have done apart from win it? So yeah, no, I'm really happy that I got there.
It's a title you've won before. Obviously, mixed emotions maybe in reaching the final, but not getting that title again. How important is it for you to be able to get back on a stage this evening and start playing again?
No, yeah, it's definitely really important because the last thing you want to do is start dwelling on everything, thinking what you've done wrong, could you have done better. So yeah, what better, you know, preparation what better preparation as to come back here and like play through it rather than being at home, you know, overthinking, thinking what I could have done and try and put things right.
Yeah, 8 games to play over the next couple of nights. Do you enjoy playing here at the Super Series?
Yeah, I love coming to the Super Series and playing. You know, it's always good games that I play because you're playing all quality of players. So yeah, it's always difficult playing here. So I really enjoy it.
And how important would it be for you? How big a target is it for you to get through to Saturday and finally get one of those weekly wins here?
Do you know what? I just love to get a weekly win because I don't know how many times I've reached the final, got through to finals night, but never got over that line. I know I did it once in Southampton, but I've never done it here in Portsmouth, and I just really, really want to do it this time.
And to do it in front of a crowd, of course, here it's a little bit different, isn't it? And get through to Champions Week. £25,000, not bad money either, although I'm sure you don't need it.
I mean, it's very tempting, don't get me wrong, but yeah, no, especially doing it in front of a crowd and just kind of getting a weekly win is basically my main objective at the moment.
First step tonight, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first step to Saturday, Fallon Sherrock's first task is to get rid of Gert DeVos in the opener here, the Queen of the Palace. Back on the Super Series stage where she's had a fair share of disappointment. The 30-year-old from Milton Keynes, winner of that Women's World Match Play a couple of years ago, runner-up just last Sunday, taking on a man who calls himself Foxy, 2015 World Darts Trophy winner. And a tough task for Fallon in her opener. But, yeah, here at the Super Series, just in isolation, last time she was here in a Group B, she had a fantastic Thursday campaign.
First leg, Fallon to throw first.
But then it all went wrong on the Friday, so something else for her to put right. AD Mason into overseas proceedings this evening, and Matthew Eggert alongside myself, Chris Murphy, in commentary.
100.
I think we're going to see good things from Fallon Sherrock tonight. We normally do when it comes to sort of the back end of the year. We're getting into the business end
60.
now. The Women's Series coming up to an end when Fallon needs to be in that top 2 positions to get a place in the World Championships at the Alexandra Palace, to get a place in the
41.
Grand Slam of Darts. This is when she tends to crank it up a little bit. She's not known as a big practicer, but she was here quite early today.
99.
Was actually one of the first through the door today, which again, very unusual for Fallon. So maybe we're going to see the very best of her this evening.
140.
Yeah, she just seemed to have had a little bit of a spring in her step in the backstage area. Seems very
58.
happy to be here, very keen, as she mentioned in that interview, just to get back and perform. She enjoys playing here. Not many players have said they don't enjoy playing here.
43.
She's been a little bit more bubbly tonight, hasn't she? She's been a little bit more bouncy, a bit more boisterous.
100.
Just the way she's been going around, conducting herself. Very interesting to see. She's obviously feeling good right now, feeling confident.
97.
And that could translate across to the dartboard tonight. Could set up for quite a Saturday should Fallon and Ashley Coleman get through. It may be
81.
full in here.
Fallon,
Well, she's
you
still
require
the
80.
creator of the most viral moment at the Modus Super Series. The first ever woman to hit a 9-darter in front of the cameras.
55. Gert, you require 103.
Almost rescuing that shot. But DeVos is going to get an opportunity here.
63.
Can't take it.
Fallon, you require 25.
When Fallon Sherrock was on her game and
Game shot
at
in
the
the
peak of
first
her
leg.
powers,
Fallon Sherrock.
which I'm not going to say was the World Championship run when she reached the third round. I'm going to go to that Grand Slam run.
Second leg. Gert
That
to
was
throw
probably
first.
the best we've ever
Game on.
seen from Fallon Sherrock in regards to a TV tournament. That's what she was so strong on, the finishing, those little combinations.
100.
Don't think she missed too many of them. I remember that rival she had with Peter Wright. She pushed him all the way. Peter in the three figures in regards to
60.
the averages. Fallon nearly caused the shock.
Over that distance, it's excellent.
140. $56. 100.
Well, 161 for DeVos. When he comes back, he's not going to be under any pressure, so no need to
100.
produce the fireworks.
Gert, you require 161.
With that in mind, he just sets up, teeing up tops after 12. Very nice.
$57. Gert, you require 40.
Time on his side with Fallon Sherrock back on 228.
Game shot on the second
Levels us
leg.
up.
Gert DeVos.
It was in fact 2021 that Grand Slammer darts run. Fallon Sherrock coming out of a group
Third leg.
ahead.
Fallon to throw first.
Gabrielle Clemens
Game on.
and Mike De Decker.
Yeah, she hit a big 170 finish, didn't she, against Clements?
Backed up that victory over Mensa Suljovic at the World
140.
Championship with a 10-5 in the knockout stage. Peter Wright averaging 100 against Fallon's 98.90.
140. $81.
And Gert DeVos
100.
himself had his own little bit of Grand Slam history, didn't he? Around the same time as he won that BDO World Trophy that got him into that tournament, in fact. An average of 113.86 in a 5-0 win against Johnny Clayton. That is, well, it's now still the fourth highest average. At that point, it was the second highest average in that event.
80. $100.
Gert DeVos looking to leave it handy.
139.
He's looking to lead double
Fallon
two.
requires 80.
But it's tops for Fallon Sherrock to regain the lead.
40. Gert, you require
Instead,
42.
Gert DeVos now an opportunity to break. He had a dart in the first leg, wasn't able to take it.
Game shot on the third leg.
He takes it
Gert
on
DeVos.
this occasion. This is an improved performance from Gert DeVos from what we saw
Fourth leg,
in the
Gert to
Group
throw
A campaign.
first. Game on.
Average of 91.5 at the moment. He's a player who hasn't been playing a lot of darts coming into this
39.
campaign. Certainly not at this sort of level. We did see that. Not so much in the fact he didn't have the ability, but it was the fact of repeating the ability consistently
45.
and in match play situations. Maybe that's something as well that we're going to see up
81.
next when Tony O'Shea takes to the stage, taking on Ashley Coleman. Something I can see a lot of people are saying in our chat this evening. Looking forward to seeing Ashley Coleman. You don't have to wait long. It'll be coming up at
44.
the conclusion of this fixture.
$81.
Yeah, I just find it an interesting group, this, particularly with the way that Coleman played in Group 8. I think at the start of the week, if you just said these were the 5 players, you might have been looking
100.
at him as one of the players in the danger zone. But suddenly he's favourite.
140. $100. Gert requires 160.
Another one of those. Leaves him tops.
140.
Look over to the scoreboard, see Fallon Sherrock on 212. He'll be happy with what he sees. That's again another sign of someone who's feeling good about the game. When they're not looking at the scoreboard, they're not bothered what the other player's on.
60.
They just expect to
Gert
be ahead
requires 20.
due to the level that they are producing.
Game's on the 4th leg. Gert DeVos.
2-leg lead for Gert DeVos, who is dominating this game so far.
5th leg. Fallon to throw first. Game on.
Will be interesting to see how Tony O'Shea plays. We did sort of briefly reference some physical ailments that Tony has
87.
been struggling with this year. He puts it down to, how can I put this? Well, I'll just say it the way he said it. Old age.
60.
There's a touch of arthritis in the hand. He, of course, you may remember, withdrew from the World Seniors Championship the day before he was supposed to play Andy Hamilton, just because he could not
100.
produce his best. But I've had a brief chat with him, said he's feeling as good as he has felt all year and ready for a serious couple of days darts.
80.
Well, there's a lot of conversation as well going on at the moment. A lot of people enjoying our referee tonight, A.D. Mason. Nice to see there's a lot of people in here from Northamptonshire,
87.
which is where A.D. Mason's from. I can only assume you're friends and family. Only kidding. He's one of our top referees here now at the Super Series. He isn't new. He's been here before, but hasn't been
60.
down for a couple of months. There he is. Does a lot of the exhibitions, doesn't he, on the Modus circuit?
100.
Yeah, we are thinking about bringing out some Modus Super Series merchandise, and we're going to have, from one end, Owen Binks, then Jack Garwood, then Eddie Mason, then Paul Hinks.
62.
Kind of refereeing Russian
Fallon requires
dolls.
127.
Well, speaking of Paul Hinks, that would have been perfect, wouldn't it? 127 in game, but instead it's 25 in game for Sherrock when she comes back.
I think this was the issue, though, for Gert
49.
DeVos for me in the
Fallon requires
Group A campaign.
25.
Front running. When he got ahead, when his nose was in front, when he did the hard work,
Game on the 5th
just
leg.
lets his opponents
Fallon
back into the
Sherrock.
game. And again, they're 3-1 up in full control, and then stranded back on 190 as Fallon Sherrock
6th
takes the leg.
Gert to throw first.
Now he's under
Game
pressure
on.
to hold, or Fallon Sherrock becomes favourite to win the match.
25.
Yeah, and she is the sort of player who thrives in those situations. Opportunity to strike.
41.
Let's DeVos off a shaky start to leg 6.
$100.
someone in the chat, Chaz, asking if next week's lineup has been announced. It hasn't, but it will be. So do stay tuned tonight because we will be revealing the week 9 lineup of Series 8. Can't believe we're at week 9 already. And there are going to be a few interesting names in there as well.
140.
I'm going to tease one. I'll say it's somebody who sat in the exact room that myself and Matthew Edgar are sat in now.
100. $82.
Well, this was a leg
58.
that DeVos would have
Gert,
been
you
under a bit
require
of pressure to get the job done, and
154.
Fallon Sherrock has just let him take it out a bit of a canter here. Just the one treble in 12 darts.
Well, that was superb adjustment.
114.
Quite complete the showpiece shot to finish the job. Is the pressure going to come too late?
100.
I don't feel like that's enough from
Gert, you
Fallon.
require 40. Game, shots,
DeVos
and a match. Get DeVos.
gets victory in the evening's opener. Fallon Sherrock defeated in game 1. 4-2 in DeVos's favour in the end. Sherrock did hit back, forcing DeVos to serve it out, but he did so with aplomb. Almost taken out a 154. In the end, he'll settle for coming back to clean up what was left and getting 2 points to kickstart his Group B campaign. Ashley Coleman and Tony O'Shea will be looking to do the same. They're up next. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Tony O'Shea is back on that stage. First time since in the early part of the year for Silverback. And he's taking on a man who's been here all week, who would have been hoping not to have been on that stage tonight in Ashley Coleman, but O'Shea, the Stockport slinger, 3 times a runner-up at the World Championship in the BDO system, taking on this emerging talent, 27 years of age, played at the UK Open, played at qualifying school, the Prince of Darkness, looking to make it through to a Saturday night here at the Super Series, and he's expecting to get a few people booking their tickets. If he does that, you can book yours via dartshop.tv, and you are guaranteed to see some decent darts already with Connor Scott in the final, but full credit to Ashley Coleman, who kept up the pace with Connor Scott this week.
First leg, Tony to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one here against Tony O'Shea. Tony O'Shea, a player who's not been playing much darts at all. He was last here in January, but since then has withdrew from a few events, has been struggling with a bit of arthritis in the throwing hand. But one thing he does have is a little bit of reputation, a little bit of name.
81.
And it'll be interesting to see how Ashley Coleman responds. We know Ashley Coleman's a big darting fan. He'll be very well aware of Tony O'Shea, very well aware of what he's done and that sort of legendary status. Be a big, big win for Coleman.
I spoke to both players actually
58.
before tonight got underway, and one thing that Tony O'Shea said, I was not about to cancel this. I've had to withdraw a couple of times before and really wanted to play on that stage again. There'll be a test
81.
for him tonight.
It may be something that starts well for Tony O'Shea, but as the night goes on, with the amount
95.
of darts he's going to have to play, maybe it's something that we see tail off throughout the night. So if he's going to get points, you feel he's got to get them early.
Has been all the way to a final, a weekly final here at the Super Series. He was responsible for Chris Mason winning.
100.
Part of that 9-dart shootout as well. He's had the full experience, apart from actually lifting the trophy here in Portsmouth.
I think for Tony, they'll be happy just to be playing on the stage. But that's something I've noticed, not just here, but Tony's practice darts. When he was taking on the challengers earlier on, he did have a lot on the floor. Now, is that maybe the dart just going in? It's always gone at an upright angle, but is that release just off to the point where it's going in a little bit too upright, so it's not penetrating the board?
And that's a good example. He could have knocked that out, couldn't he?
105.
But he really attacked that treble 20.
Actually requires 65.
Did get to go at the bullseye for the finish.
$33. Tony requires 25.
So we'll get to see what he's like on the doubles. It'll be 2 darts at double 8. Make that one at double 4.
17.
Good effort there from Tony O'Shea, both on the wire. Well thrown darts. But he has just been broken in the opening leg.
Ashley Coleman.
I mean, for Tony O'Shea, who hasn't played any legs for so long, that would be quite
Second
encouraging.
Leg, Ashley to throw first.
Yes, he lost a leg. Yes,
Game
he had
on.
21 darts, but it was probably a little better than he expected. Might just settle him down a little bit for the rest of the campaign.
140.
You'd still get nervous at 63, especially if you're not quite sure what's in the locker still.
45.
Never took up that opportunity to play as a PDC pro. We did see him. We've mentioned the Grand Slam before tonight. We've seen him many times in that, but there was a time, wasn't there, when he was reaching Lakeside
125.
finals, when, in fact, not just the finalists, but the semi-finalists at the Lakeside would get offered the chance to switch codes. He never took it up.
140. $58.
Feels like Ashley really starting to settle into this game as well. We mentioned about how he is such a fan of the sport. It must be quite hard when you've got limited experience like Ashley does against
44.
the sort of legends of the game. Especially when you're playing it. This isn't an exhibition game. This is a serious game of darts where he's trying to get points to get himself through to Saturday night for the first time here at the Super Series. And with the level he's shown this week, you'd expect to see him there.
73. Ashley requires 52.
I think he would absolutely love it Double 8. Double 4.
See, I don't know if he went for the treble 12 there, but if he did, I'm a big fan of that shot because it focuses the target. A lot of times people throw into an area, oh, I want a big 12, I want a big 20, and they throw a lazy dart and often miss the big number. That just really focuses the mind and ultimately an area of the board he really likes playing in.
Coleman
Doubles his lead, but that time a little less resistance from Tony O.
third leg, Tony to throw first. Game on.
A strong start from Coleman. He's playing his 16th match of the week. Has won
100.
12 already. You can tell he's a big darts fan just by looking at his actual darts. They are his own darts,
60.
but they're basically a modification of old Phil Taylor darts that he used to use. And the flights, well, they're John Lowe flights.
85. $180.
For the first time in his Group B campaign here tonight, Ashley Coleman fills it up. He did manage to fill it up 12 times across his Group A campaign, which is not far
55.
off 180 per game on average. Nearly gave us the 9-dart leg. Maybe he's going to save that for Saturday when some of his followers and supporters will be sat behind him.
85. $100.
Well, this is better from the silverback.
127.
Finds the treble twice and then almost to kind of make your point for you, misses a big number.
$48.
So choices here for Tony O'Shea.
49.
Chooses double 16.
33.
Well, he had 2 darts in the opening leg to hold his throw. He's had 2 darts there to hold his throw. Every occasion so far, Coleman has punished him.
Game on the third leg. Ashley Coleman.
I'm a little bit baffled there because that looked like that was deliberate.
Fourth leg. Ashley to throw first.
Now, I get the reasoning on the 52 if it's deliberate to go for the treble 12, but in that situation, you missed the treble
97.
8. And you hit the single, you've just burnt a dart at tops when you could go 16 tops. I mean, it worked for him, but it's a risky ploy if that was a deliberate
58.
dart.
Now, the only thing I can think is if he was going for a treble, then maybe it was the treble 16.
58.
Well, we do have Jack, the darts referee, in the chat this evening, supporting Ash, who played a big part in Ash's
46.
sort of coming to the forefront, shall we say, with the streams and the opportunities provided on his channel. And he confirms what we were saying at the start of this, that this is a big game for Ashley. He's a big Tony O'Shea. Tony O'Shea? Tony O'Shea are making up players.
100. $60.
Well, you might want some sort of substitute at the end of this game because it could be the worst possible start for Tony.
60. Ashley, you require 146.
Minimum of 6 darts here for Ash Coleman.
57.
Feel Tony O is going to need at least a couple of trebles.
Gets a couple of trebles. Put some pressure on Coleman here.
89.
All he gets is a go at the bull.
Game.
And that's all he needs.
And the match, Ashley Coleman.
The Prince of Darkness with a bright start to Group B. A 4-0 success over Tony O'Shea. Silverback back at the Super Series, but not the start he would have wanted, as Coleman carries on doing what he was doing in Group A earlier this week. Perfect start for him. Fallon Sherrock, she had far from it when she went down 4-2 to Gert DeVos, but she gets the chance to put that right when she takes on Ron Meulenkamp next. Welcome back to the live lounge in Portsmouth, UK, the home of the Modus Super Series, where Fallon Sherrock is about to get her second game of her campaign underway. And she's taking on someone playing his first, the bomb, Ron Meulenkamp. A very talented player, 35 now, from the Netherlands. Will be earmarking a return to the PDC Pro Tour ASAP. Fallon Sherrock will still try to do that. She'll go back to Q School, I'm sure, in January, but we'll see her, in all likelihood, at some of the PDC TV events as well, where she's had great success. But can she get success at the Super Series? That's something that has eluded her so far. Ron Meulenkamp's another player that's come close but hasn't quite crossed the line, who will pick up their first points of the night at the end of this one.
First leg, Ron to throw first. Game on.
Well, we know Fallon won't be in those big TV events as the Women's World Match Play champion, but she can still do it through the Women's Series Order of Merit. The top two players will qualify for the Alexandra Palace.
60.
Bo Greaves currently top position. We know she'd get a ticket should she wish off the Women's Match Play, which means off the Order of Merit, Fallon Sherrock becomes the number one.
100.
£500 ahead of Makuru Suzuki, and about £1,500 ahead of Lisa Ashton.
And the other good news for Fallon, of course, is that Bo's already said that it's going to be Lakeside for her.
27.
Of course, nothing's official until it's official, but you would expect to see a return in December to the scene
100.
of that glory. We mentioned her viral moment here at the Super Series, didn't we, with the 9 darter? Well, Ron Meulenkamp had one of his own, but for rather different reasons.
97.
Him and Darren Webster found themselves on the front page of one of the national newspapers.
Why was that, Chris?
60.
What happened?
You know how it says the bomb on the back of Rom's shirt? It's basically, someone let one off.
60.
Ironically, not the first time it's made this papers either, is it? Remember the Gary Anderson incident? One of the greatest interviews in the sport.
140.
We worked really hard to get notice, to get coverage, and all it took was, well, I don't have to finish a sentence.
140.
It's a bit windy in Portsmouth
Fallon
sometimes,
requires
doesn't it?
101.
Well, Meulenkamp will get a look.
65.
For the 117.
Ron requires 117. $93.
And this is where
Fallon
we may see the
requires
advantage of Fallon
36.
Sherrock already playing a game so far tonight.
Game John, the
If you
first
subscribe
leg.
to the John
Fallon
Park
Sherrock.
school of thinking, it's always an advantage to be up there and playing a game. He mentions it all the time at the World Championship, how it's kind of
Second leg, Fallon to throw
disadvantages
first.
the seeds.
Game on.
And the fact that they go into the game cold against someone who's already been up there. But it wasn't a positive experience for Fallon Sherrock. She opened the night with a 4-2
100.
defeat to Gert DeVos, who will be coming up next against Tony O'Shea.
A strong start in this one with that
140.
immediate break.
$100. $100. $96.
Already significantly better this from Fallon Sherrock. You can tell just in the depth of the dart landing in the board, the grouping, so much better now than what she had against Gert DeVos.
100.
It is a good position to be in when you've had that extra game on the stage, but it can also bring with it a little bit of anticipation as well, because she is the first player to play 2 matches. If it was going to be defeat here as well to Ron Meulenkamp, you feel up against it in the very early stage. You have to watch everybody else go on the stage and pick up points while you're sat waiting for another lap.
$84.
That last start might just help
Fallon
Fallon a
requires
little bit. Meulenkamp may only get 1 at double when he comes back. Doesn't like the light, so does what she can to get past it.
100.
Does very well with that.
Ron requires 77.
That was in. But the dart needs to stay in. It needs to be retrieved for it to count. He finds it again.
67.
Well, you said he had a bit of a viral
Fallon
moment. That could have been
requires
one as well.
48.
He's having a good look at it. He almost hit the same spot, so really strange. 99 now for Fallon.
Game shot.
Well
the
rescued,
second leg.
and that's what difference
Fallon
having that
Sherrock.
extra dart made. 2-0 to Sherrock. Ron Meulenkamp left a little bit bemused at
Third
that bounce
leg,
out.
Ron to throw first. Game on.
I've had a few of those myself, and they are very, very frustrating. Especially when you know you've hit the target. Sometimes you can sort of get it nearby. We always say it hit, even if it didn't. But when you're absolutely certain, like that one did, it hit the sort of middle part of the bed, stayed away from the wire, just didn't penetrate the board.
There's a question from Lee in the chat on YouTube, and he's asking if we think that Tony O'Shea has underachieved on the big stage. Should he have won more in terms of TV titles? I think that a lot is often made of players who've lost a lot of finals as if it's some kind of failure. But what does that make all the players that haven't made any finals?
You don't get into a final by winning a raffle.
I think Tony became one of those players that everybody wanted to win as well. It just never happened in the World Championship.
$96.
Well, Lee Seymour has asked in the chat. Here's a question for you guys. You think? Oh, it's the same one again.
So good, he asked it twice.
100. Fallon
170 on offer here. Not going to go, but she could pile even more pressure on Meulenkamp with a nice setup shot.
98. Ron requires 109.
It doesn't eliminate the opportunity. Now it does.
40.
This would be a combination finish that would give Fallon Sherrock a double breaker throw. Give her full control. Well, it was a double-double last time, wasn't it? 7-7, 9. And it's back-to-back double-double finishes for Fallon Sherrock. The ironic thing is, I don't think she wanted either of them.
Fourth leg, Fallon to throw first. Game on.
Disappointed-looking player who's gone 3-0 up. But here she comes.
180.
Fills it up for the first time this evening. Just hammers home the advantage. Meulenkamp's not played bad here. Average around about the 88 mark.
43.
Fallon Sherrock has really stepped it up.
Yeah, exactly what she needed after that opening defeat. So she'll have points on the board 60. If she gets one more leg here. Get DeVos, who beat her, has 2. Ashley Coleman also has 2. He's the next opponent for Meulenkamp as well. DeVos meets Tony O'Shea after this.
58.
Kobe in the chat asks, why ads?
121.
Well, Kobe, because you haven't subscribed for YouTube Premium. No ads, no Super Series. Sorry, mate.
I know I'm in the commentary box with Chris, but it felt like Chris
Fallon
Mason there.
140.
Yeah, learnt from the best.
$44. $41. Fallon requires 96.
Been a decent performance this from Fallon Sherrock. Is it going to turn into a perfect win? Again, 68. She finds the wrong double. So what's she hit now? She's hit 6 doubles in this game now.
Well, she gets the right one here. She'll be off the stage with a 4-0 win. And that
100.
Defeat to DeVos will feel so long
28.
ago. Be quite appreciative here that Ron Meulenkamp has had a bit of a stink up. Still back on 2-10 after 15 darts. Fallon still awaiting that first win of this campaign.
Well, she's certainly seeing the funny side. Hits the wrong doubles, but can't hit the right ones.
56. Fallon requires 14. No score.
Well, this time she hits the wrong double and bursts the score. Meulenkamp is just getting closer and closer all the time. Fallon can't make too many more mistakes here. Or Meulenkamp's back in the leg, back in
94.
the game.
Fallon requires 14.
Perseverance. Doesn't pay off.
10. Ron requires
This
60.
would be one of the biggest steals of a leg we have ever seen at the Super Series. But Meulenkamp's only had one dart at a double so far in this game.
Game shot on the fourth
He
leg.
only needs one to get the
Ron
job done here.
Meulenkamp.
Fallon Sherrock will be seething.
Fifth leg. Ron to throw first. Game on.
I think she had a good idea that the camera might be close up on her face there, Fallon Sherrock. But
41.
the game goes on.
50. 58.
Ron Meulenkamp has been playing on the Challenge Tour as of late. The last series of
140.
Challenge Tour events number 12 to 15, wasn't really a happy hunting ground for Ron Meulenkamp. The best he got there was a last 64. He'll expect
96.
higher standards of himself. He'll certainly expect to be one of the players up towards the top end of the Challenge Tour Order of Merit, trying to battle out for those tour card places and that spot
100.
at the Alexandra Palace, but it's not quite gone his way this year, certainly to what he would have expected. Currently 76th on that Order of Merit, just £875.
97.
So maybe looking to get his season back on the right track here as we get into the business end of the series.
60. 95. Fallon requires 151.
After all those missed doubles, this would be the most ironic way to win the game.
111. Ron requires
Instead, we're just adding up
114.
a little bit in regards to the mismatched darts.
Game shot
Ron
on the fifth
Meulenkamp
leg.
takes out a big
Ron
114
Meulenkamp.
finish. He's still in there, he's still swinging. And more
Sixth
misery
leg. Fallon
for
to throw
Fallon.
first. Game on.
It
90.
looked like she'd just assumed control again, but this could get very, very difficult now. She can do everything right for the rest of her leg, and then you get towards the back end of it and you start
45.
to wonder if things are going to go wrong.
Well, a little bit snatchy there for Ron Meulenkamp.
60.
Didn't quite get to the end of his action. He's thrown with a bit more venom.
100.
Sometimes you can do that. Try play it a bit safe. Go a bit floaty. Just try and place them in the ball rather than
100.
propel them.
$41.
There it is again. He gives it a thumbs up. Not quite the same we get from Andrew Gilding after a maximum. I can't see the 41 taking off.
91.
But Fallon down to a finish again.
$134. Fallon requires 160. 80.
80.
65. Fallon requires 80.
Well, it's made it a little awkward. And she can't get
60.
past that blocker.
Ron requires 116.
Ron Meulenkamp's just taken out 114 to force the issue. Same equation here, just the one treble required. He's going to have to work around that dart to get the treble 19. Doesn't do so. More match darts for Fallon Sherrock.
$56. Fallon requires 20. Game, shot, and the match. Fallon Sherrock.
So Sherrock does pick up the points eventually. Could have been a much more comfortable win for Fallon Sherrock. She knows it. Missed in the end. 14 darts at double, but some of those darts were missed by hitting doubles. It was a bizarre first 4 legs for Fallon. She did drop a couple, and Ron Meulenkamp almost forced his way back into the game, but Sherrock picks up the points, joins Gert DeVos and Ashley Coleman on 2 points. And coming next, DeVos is going to take on Tony O'Shea.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Fallon Sherrock just got over the line against Ron Meulenkamp by 4 legs to 2. She was made to work for it. Looked like it was going to be a comfortable 4-0 win, but missed match darts, and Ron Meulenkamp made a game of it in the end. But what will be the tale here? Gert DeVos played the very first game of the night where he beat Fallon Sherrock with a good performance, an average in the mid-80s. For Tony O'Shea, he went down by 4 legs to 0 to Ashley Coleman. We don't know what to expect from Tony O'Shea.
Gert to throw first.
Tony O'Shea
Game
does
on.
not know what to expect from Tony O'Shea. He's a player who's had to take a little bit of time out from the game, was struggling.
81.
A bit of arthritis in the hands, not been seen since January. Ended up pulling out of events, so it's just great to see Tony O'Shea up there throwing his darts, and what will
27.
be will be. but you feel he needs to get a leg on the board at some point just to start to build some form of belief. But Gert DeVos has been around the block plenty of times before, and you feel that he may sense a little bit of weakness here in the Tony O'Shea game.
80.
Something we alluded to in the opening game there, Tony O'Shea, with his practice darts, with his darts on the stage earlier on, has had quite a few bounce outs.
80.
And that will come just to that release being slightly off. Not being able to sort of open the hand quick enough will just make the dart go a little bit side on when it approaches the board.
Requires 160. $55.
Couple of treble 20s, the order of the day for O'Shea, but he can't find one. Well, he can find one, but
Gert requires
not a
105.
treble 20.
Double 16 for the opening leg.
73.
Plenty of time. Tony O way back on 269.
41. Gert requires 32.
The question was, how does Tony O'Shea manage it as the day goes on?
16.
Do we see him improve or do we see him regress? And a few concerning signs here in the early part of game number 2.
119. Gert requires 16. Game's on the first leg. Gert DeVos.
Well, Tony O'Shea now 5 from 5 legs lost.
Second leg. Tony to throw first. Game
DeVos
on.
maintaining a real steely focus tonight.
This is a sort of game when you really need the focus, because you'll sense the sort of weakness in your games of the opponent. And when you look at the opponent, you look at what they've done within the game, you'll have a lot of respect for them as a player as well, which will make it a very, very tricky sort of game to play. You just need to keep your head down. Don't watch what he's doing. Try not to follow and track
65.
the game. And this is when you really just have to play the board. DeVos will be very, very well aware of what Tony O'Shea is capable of and has achieved, because Gert DeVos was one of the players who had a lot of success on the old
96.
BDO system. And he would have been around during the days when Tony O'Shea was reaching those World Championship finals and World Masters finals.
100. 100.
Better leg though, this from Tony O'Shea.
Actually played each other in the Finder Masters in 2015. That was 100. The year that Gert DeVos won his BDO major. And quite interesting sort of link here, because Fallon Sherrock won the women's event in that tournament.
Requires
and the men's event was won by my co-commentator, Glenn Durrant.
Yeah, he used to love that event, didn't he, Glenn
41.
Durrant?
Tony requires
Tony O'Shea might
96.
be about to love this leg though. Might be his first leg on the board here this week at the Super Series. Chips it down
36.
a little bit, but still work to be done. And
123.
I'm probably going to have egg on my face here, but I feel like O'Shea's going to be better at the lower doubles rather than the ones at the top. So
41.
you know what's going to happen here. He's going to go 20 tops,
60.
no problems.
Game's on the second leg. Tony O'Shea.
So there we go. Off the mark.
Third
Will that
leg.
be the little springboard that
Game
Silverback
on.
needs?
$24.
Just looking at the
60.
results from that tournament. The other player that won a youngster called Justin Vanterhout. Player that we've never really seen progress to the levels we thought might. He was one of the next big things, wasn't he?
37.
In fact, I saw a video go out on YouTube today, and it was a Sky Sports article with Wayne Mardle from 5 years ago. And who are the next 5 players to watch?
58.
And one of those was Ron Meulenkamp in Wayne's mind then.
I think I might actually remember that. Was one of them David Pallett as well?
I think it could have been,
79.
Not quite in your wheelhouse when it comes to those
59.
predictions, is he?
Well, you know, I've watched that many darts now. I think I've seen everybody at every different aspect.
123.
Shea not able to capitalise though on the slow start from Gert DeVos. Gert DeVos opened this leg with scores of just 24 and 37. But O'Shea, 12 darts thrown, no trebles. Resettling for Gert DeVos.
61. 47.
There's that rhythm. There's that flow.
137.
When he plays with that little bit of extra pace.
$60.
Maybe
Gerd requires 40.
the mind not quite where it needs to be at the moment for Tony O'Shea. That little bit of gameplay, because if he looked at the ball 25, he could have left a finish. Or is he telling us that he's not confident of taking the biggie?
30.
I'm sure he'd rather have some hope rather than none.
$100. Gerd requires 10.
Straight for it, but goes inside. Chooses double one.
Game shot on
And
the
that
third
proved
leg.
to be the right choice.
Gerd DeVos.
I suppose
Fourth
there's a
leg,
bit of a
Tony to throw
tricky
first.
dilemma as well for Tony
Game on.
O'Shea, isn't there? Does he go back into the room and sit down, or does he go back on the practice board? How does he manage his time away from the hockey as well? The bonus he's got tonight is how the fixtures
121.
break down in the fact that he'll only be off the hockey for one game back on, one game off, one on. So it's not like he's got big time to have to try and
140.
work out what to do and fill that time. Ashley Coleman takes on Ron Meulenkamp next before Tony O'Shea comes back on. And
180.
this significantly better here from Tony O'Shea. 5 big trebles in 6 darts, and he hits a max.
Man, they're playing at pretty much the same level, the pair of them,
115.
mid-70s. The averages after 3.5 legs.
$34. $97.
DeVos gets down to a finish first. O'Shea looking to leave something a little bit more handy.
84. Gerd requires 149. $98. Tony requires 82.
Oh, great dart. Bullseye for double 16.
Game's
Great
on the
finish.
fourth
Tony
leg.
O'Shea
Tony O'Shea.
rolling back the years.
Hassle-free leg there.
Fifth leg. Gerd to throw
14 darter,
first.
and ironically, it
Game
was
on.
the leg which Gert DeVos had his best leg as well, and he didn't even get a shot at the finish. That might be a little bit of a
43.
warning, and a bit of a reminder to Gert DeVos that this is still a live and active game.
$100.
Tony O'Shea has gone from barely being able to find a treble to now worrying Gert DeVos.
180.
DeVos knowing he needs to up his game. And does so with the second max.
43.
If O'Shea can get the victory in
100.
this, there'd only be Ron Meulenkamp without points in this group. He takes on Ash Coleman after the break. So a long way to go yet for that to happen, but we could get a opening 5 matches where everybody picks up a win.
95.
You do get the feeling that this Group B is going to be a slightly different story to what we saw at Group C this afternoon, where 2 players sort of ran away with the
100.
proceedings and everyone else beat each other. I think this is going to be one of those groups where I don't think we've got a runaway leader. I think everyone is going to beat each other.
57. Gert requires 78.
Could get a little bit sticky, this. Tony O'Shea hasn't been in this leg at all. But Gert DeVos has only left himself 6, and it's a very, very awkward finish.
100. Gert requires 6.
Just got a little bit trickier.
Game on
What
the
a
5th
great
leg.
dart that for Gert DeVos.
Gert DeVos.
That is a reaction of a relieved man. Tony O'Shea would have come and taken out the 106. He'd now be throwing for the match.
Tony to throw first. Game on.
This is a bit of a step up from Tony O'Shea in patches.
83. $100.
Full credit.
180.
The Silverback gets back in the swing. Levels up the 180 tally in this match, 2 apiece.
83.
And that'll be encouraging for Tony O'Shea as well. He probably weren't even expecting any maximums. He was just probably hoping to play with
60.
freedom. Play without pain. Just be able to get in a bit of a flow. So he'll be absolutely delighted with what he's been able to take from this
80.
game. His average does creep up towards the 80 mark now.
$40.
Slight slip from O'Shea, but he will get a look. And DeVos needs a treble just to get with him.
60. Tony requires 138.
Gets the luxury and the freedom of this just being a setup
60.
play. Brings it down. Only needs singles to get another dart of the double to take us the distance. DeVos comes up dry, back-to-back visits, so
78.
O'Shea to take us all the way.
58. Gert requires 118.
Couldn't quite manage it, so DeVos 118. Single 18 for double top.
78.
Match start missed.
Tony requires 20. Game on the 6th
You do feel
flag.
they have more success on the
Tony
lower doubles, and
O'Shea.
not a perfect one from Tony O'Shea. No problems.
7th leg. Gert to throw first. Game on.
Very wayward.
41.
That had edginess from the very, very first dart.
$140.
O'Shea's motoring. He's sensing the opportunity, sensing the chance.
64.
DeVos is floundering.
$100. 41.
Came here to put himself to the test, Tony O'Shea, tonight. First match went horribly wrong, a 4-0 defeat.
140.
This could go perfectly right.
$43. Tony
He's got
requires
as much time as he wants here, Tony O'Shea. Didn't need to entertain the idea of the treble 17.
89.
Kurt DeVos, 280 points down.
145.
Well, this is still
Tony
thinking.
requires 32.
But
Game,
Tony
shot,
O'Shea produces a leg from the
Tony
top draw
O'Shea.
to get a first victory on his return to the Super Series. He sees off Kurt DeVos and makes it a 4-way tie on 2 points in the Group B table in the early stages of it. A defeat followed by a win for O'Shea. He was excellent on the outer ring. The same can't be said for his opponent, who missed an unlucky 13 and couldn't cross the line. Missed a match start to do so. O'Shea punished, and he is off the mark. Ron Meulenkamp is hoping to get off the mark next. He's going to take on Ashley Coleman.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Line.
They've both got the talent where they just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only needs the one.
Shot on the second leg. Darius
What are you saying about efficiency?
Shot on the third leg.
Is that the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowski. Game shot.
Josh Smith, is it a 9? A long time. And that clenched fist. He gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Just like that. Only needs the one. And there you can see.
So that she can unlock at any moment. But that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great dive.
Shot on the first leg. Andreas
It's a
Harrison.
breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
Shot on the second leg.
Consecutive breaker throw. Double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Ron Meulenkamp is looking to pick up his first points in Group B. And if he does it, then every single player will have 1 win and 1 defeat as their record after the opening 2 rounds of fixtures have been played. The other possible scenario is that Meulenkamp stays stuck at the bottom of the table with no points from 2, and Ashley Coleman gets off to an unbeaten start, something we've said before this week.
First leg, Ashley to throw first. Game on.
Well, you can only assume that Ashley Coleman's come here with the same goal he had in Group A, and that was to go 15 from 15. We have seen people have the perfect Group B campaign. A few more people adding their name to that roll of honour as of late.
85.
You got to say, on what we've seen so far tonight, Ashley Coleman looking the more likely. There's been
41.
a bit of a edgy evening at times. Tony O'Shea cashing in on the dipping performance from Gert DeVos. O'Shea, who came here just hoping to feel a bit free and enjoy his darts this evening.
60.
Ended up picking up a win with 2 maximums.
$91.
But this is one of those games where, if we're going to take a look at Ashley Coleman and the journey he's on and where he's going, he wants to be a professional dart player. If we're going to take a look at
100.
where he is now, these are the sort of games where you'd put him in that sort of category with the class of player like a Ron Meulenkamp.
47.
So, real big game here for him to sort of excel and continue that progress.
$100. $130. Ron
Second
requires
dart was in the treble 20, which is why
156.
Coleman switched. Didn't fancy leaving double 1. Another in there would leave Ron on double 18.
81. Ashley requires 52.
One of the key strengths, though, of Ashley Coleman this week has been these sort of low combos.
12.
Hasn't there too many opportunities pass
Ron
him by, but
requires
he's given Ron
75.
Meulenkamp a chance to get a breaker throw in the opening leg.
$63. Ashley requires 40. Game shot on the first leg. Ashley Coleman.
Both players missing an opportunity there to take the lead.
Second leg.
Coleman gets
Ron
a
to
second
throw
bite.
first. Game
Good
on.
to see her throwing first, and when you wonder if that's an advantage, is throwing first, or how big of an advantage is throwing first, that is there, case in point.
140. $46. $180. $60.
Already looking a more settled performance from Ron Meulenkamp, as that we saw earlier on when he went down to Fallon Sherrock in the third game of the evening. Fallon coming out of that one with a 4-2 success. And
130.
we'll probably still be wondering now how it wasn't 4-0. Had about 5 visits to get the job done. Ron Meulenkamp just chipped away,
96.
stalled
Ron
the leg
requires
and
51.
himself back in the game. This a good step up.
Game shot on the
Ashley
second
Coleman
leg.
stranded as he
Ron
goes out in 11
Meulenkamp.
darts. Good response here from Ron.
Third leg. Ashley to throw first. Game on. 140. $140. $83. $96. $140.
Oh, the left-hander going down. On 265, trying to leave a finish, but the wayward dart
47.
put paid to that.
Ashley requires 138.
And Ashley Coleman with the John Lowe dart.
Game
Flights
on the
doing the
third
Luke
leg.
Humphreys finish.
Ashley Coleman.
Doesn't dart leg. Brilliant.
Fourth leg, Ron to throw first. Game on.
That is Ashley Coleman's biggest finish of the week so far. He took out 6 ton plus checkouts in his Group A campaign, but the largest of them all
97.
being a 1-2-4.
$85.
Just looking more comfortable all the time up on the Super Series stage, and it's something he said in the interview on Monday when he went through the card, winning 5 from 5. That he's just starting to feel like
99.
he belongs here now at the Modus Super Series.
$140. $98. $83. $100. $95. Ron requires 107.
So still on. Probably be looking at treble 20 here to leave the double 19. That does leave the double 19.
88.
Just inside.
Ashley requires 98.
Ashley Coleman for a possible breaker throw.
40. Ron requires 19.
The way Ron Meulenkamp starts light, that could be a help.
11. Ashley requires 58. Game on the fourth leg. Ashley Coleman.
Well, he's
Fifth
playing
leg.
decent stuff,
Ashley to
Coleman.
throw first.
Meulenkamp, to be
Game
fair,
on.
has thrown good errors in this game himself. He missed that opportunity there. But this man is living up to that billing.
180.
Has been favourite for this group. We're looking at the 2 players, actually, that were priced the same by the odds compilers. Joint favourites to win the group. One of them looks like he's on course for a perfect start.
83.
The other one looks like he's on course for the opposite. No points from 2.
And how much does that come down to the fact that Ashley Coleman's been here all week? He's played a Group A campaign where Ron Meulenkamp looking to hit the ground running. He's only got the one opportunity. He needs to get in that top 3 if he is to
100.
be here on Saturday night. Otherwise, the only way he would be here is by getting a ticket from dartshop.tv.
43.
And you can do that by scanning that QR code. That'll take you straight through to the ticket website. Book yours for a couple of quid. You could be here on Saturday night, not just this
121.
Saturday, any Saturday. I always like saying this to people. Get your phone out,
45.
scan that QR code, then they realise they're watching on the phone and don't know what to do.
$81. Ashley requires 150.
That would have been some way to win the match.
114. Ron
And
requires
take that step closer to Saturday.
116.
by getting the treble, it allows him a shot. Treble 17 for the Bull. It looks like Ashley Coleman is going to continue this perfect start.
Ashley requires 36. $30. Ron requires 59. Game shot in the fifth leg.
Hangs around.
Ron Meulenkamp.
And that scenario that we just spoke about of Coleman winning 2 and Meulenkamp losing 2
Sixth leg. Ron to throw first.
may
Game
not
on.
come to pass because Meulenkamp can force a decider here.
$16.
Petulantly kind of threw that last dart there because the first 2 were wayward.
He's just thrown me a lot of lift, isn't he, tonight?
100.
Said earlier, there's just that little bit of a snatch at the release point at times, and he's really having to put a lot of effort into these darts to propel them properly.
58.
Throw just not coming easy and natural.
$100.
Much easier on the eye for Ashley Coleman this evening. Very fluent, very free moving.
$100. $97.
Perfect dart for Meulenkamp to follow, really. He'll be disappointed not to have managed to find at least one bedfellow there.
$78.
Needs to find a treble here, though, Meulenkamp. Being outscored by Ashley Coleman.
$137. Ashley requires 126.
Bullseye to win it.
80.
Wrong way off.
Ron requires 90.
Bullseye to stay in it.
65. Ashley requires 46. Game, shot.
And Ashley Coleman
and
does get the job done.
Ashley Coleman.
4-2 over Ron Meulenkamp, who after 2 matches hasn't picked up any points at all. Coleman, though, the other side of the coin. Perfect start for him once again. He kicked off Group A in this kind of fashion and he's at it again in Group B. And maybe those Coleman fans can start thinking about booking their tickets for Saturday night. He'll be back in a couple of games' time against Gert DeVos. But before that, Fallon Sherrock will take on Tony O'Shea.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the Bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said Bull. That's a great first start from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
Match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie Face is through. He gets
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Halfway through the evening's action, then myself and Matthew Egg providing commentary on it. And here's what's happened so far. Kurt DeVos, Ashley Coleman, Fallon Sherrock and Tony O'Shea all winning against a throw in their first games, but then Coleman breaking that trend and getting a win, which leaves Ron Meulenkamp without any points. Those two players, Matt, were joint favourites as well for this group. It's gone the right way for one, but the wrong way for Ron.
Yeah, Ashley Coleman again looking more like the experienced campaigner that he's starting to become here at the Super Series, but really did cash in there from any missed opportunity that Ron Meulenkamp made. I made a reference at the start of that game saying that this is probably a very similar game in regards to current levels and expectations. And then when you look at the CV that Ron Meulenkamp's got, that Ashley Coleman getting those wins further validates his credentials.
For all of the other players, really, apart from those two, you've seen the good and the bad, haven't we?
Yeah, we've seen a bit of everything, haven't we, so far this evening? From everybody in the field tonight. It's sort of been hit and miss a little bit this evening. I don't think it's really caught light. I think if one of the players can play to the peak of their potential tonight, or anywhere near like that, they're going to run away with the points in the back half of this night.
On Fallon Sherrock, we saw in her victory, she could have posted much better figures, couldn't she? There were signs there that we could see the best of her at some point.
Yeah, it was the back end, wasn't it? Those missed starts at a double. She was down, she was looking like a 4-0 win, and then just made a bit of a mess of it. Got over the line in the end. The figure she's going to care about the most is the 4 legs. That gets her the 2 points on the board, and then the numbers she'll be most happy with. And signs of the performance going up. It was a disappointing start for her in that game against Gert DeVos. A little bit off the pace, but we know Fallon's not a big practice, so she uses the games as a bit of a practice. So maybe we're going to see the best at the back end of the evening.
Yeah, halfway through tonight, that means a quarter of the way through the group, and here's how the table looks after those first couple of fixtures for each player. When can, Matt, the Ashley Coleman fan club start booking their tickets to be here on Saturday?
On the evidence of what I've seen tonight and what the opposition have put forward, I would say they need to start doing it from this point. Start doing it now, because one thing we know about him, very popular character. We've got Fallon Sherrock in here as well. Connor Scott will probably bring a couple of people down as well. So if they do want to come and support him, it's not the biggest of buildings here. We can only get so many in. I would say start booking them now.
Yeah, should be a great Saturday night this week. Might be a great one next week as well. Here is, for the first time, a look at the lineup for week 9 of this series. Conor Heenahan, a man who's no stranger to a 9-darter, returns to that stage. Tom Lonsdale in Group A as well. Simon Adams all the way from South Africa. Thomas Banks has been in great form, joined by Stefan Hendrick and Moreno Blom returning. Also, we'll see in Group B, one of our colleagues, Scott Mitchell. Quite a difficult week for Scott to put himself in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's been playing well, and I think he'll fancy his chances there in that Group B. Steve Hines done very well here at the Super Series, but there's a guy on that list that's got my attention right now. Comes in Group C, Jamie Atkins. He's very local to me, so I'm very, very aware of him, and I'm aware of his story and his journey. A couple of years ago, thought maybe darts was finished for him with how things was going. He's come back, and he really appreciates the game. He's playing the game very well. He's an England international. He's doing very well on the Challenge Tour. He's had Pro Tour call-ups. He's given some mighty scares. A win against Jim Williams. Jamie Atkins can play this game. He is going to be a big danger. I'm going to call it now. You're going to be watching him next Saturday.
Oh, there we go. Big call. And we're going to find out over the next couple of nights who will be watching this Saturday. We'll get back through into the comms box. But Saturday night is what it's all about, getting to here at the Super Series. And Ashley Coleman in this group, well, he's very confident of getting there. And you could be there as well.
I'm more hungry for a Saturday night than probably most of the players in there. I don't know if that room can handle the pod squad.
Yeah, guaranteed drama and guaranteed entertainment here on a Saturday night of the Super Series. And, well, if one or both of these players manage to make it, then you're going to guarantee to see one of the big names in this sport. Fallon Sherrock. There aren't many better known names in the world of darts than the Queen of the Palace. And Tony O'Shea, 3 times a world finalist, always the main attraction at any darty party, and does have a chance of getting there. We might have thought we wouldn't be discussing that, Matt, when he lost 4-0 to Ashley Coleman in his first game, but he looked really good in his second, that win over Gert DeVos.
I think the most impressive thing for me was how he handled that last leg. Last leg shootout, DeVos had the throw. 2 140s a ton. All looked very good for Tony O'Shea.
60.
2 180s as well as part of that game. And you got to think, when Tony O'Shea came here, it was just all about, I just want to play okay. I just want to feel good. Well, how can you not feel good after getting a couple of points? And at what point do we start discussing Tony O'Shea as being, rather than 60. Someone who's here to watch, someone who's here to compete and potentially get through?
$140.
Fallon Sherrock herself
45.
bounced back from defeat in her opening match. As we just discussed, a performance that was probably better than the stats suggested against Ron Meulenkamp.
83.
Finding a lot of next door neighbours when it was going for doubles.
59.
One thing that's always been the case for Tony O'Shea, a dart low on a target is a terrible dart for Tony O'Shea.
Yeah, especially when that release isn't right at the moment. He just goes even more aggressive.
So upright they land. He could put one in the bullseye and block the treble 20.
59. Fallon requires 105. 89. 100. Fallon requires 16.
Let's see how the doubling is for Fallon Sherrock here. Sort of stumbled over the line in the last
on
game.
the first leg. Fallon
She did
Sherrock.
get the victory over Ron Meulenkamp, but no problems there. Resisting a bit of a
second leg.
late
Tony
attack
to throw
from
first.
Tony O'Shea.
Game on.
Doesn't look too settled though tonight, does she, Fallon Sherrock? They're just
100.
having a look at the equipment.
Yeah, I suppose
140.
she might be feeling from the last match that her darts have been misbehaving a little bit. Trying to think what she can do to
100.
eradicate that. Won't be the darts, it'll be some unconscious micro change in the action.
140.
They're certainly behaving themselves here.
100.
I think Tony O'Shea here performing better than he certainly expected. With
100.
It's going to get very interesting going into tomorrow because he'll probably come in here with a completely different mindset.
59. Fallon requires
Yeah, showing that you never lose it,
121.
Tony O'Shea. It's there in flashes. Double 18, the choice here for Fallon Sherrock. And that's
Game shot in the
a picture
second leg.
perfect checkout.
Fallon Sherrock.
140, 140, 100, then the 1-2-1 out. And O'Shea was on a finish there.
Third leg. Fallon
A lot
to
of
throw
players
first.
would have gone
Game
the
on.
11's route and maybe ended on the bull, but she eliminated that by finding the 25 and hitting the double 18.
47. 42.
Must be so frustrating at times for Tony O'Shea as well because he'll just want to get up there and feel how he used to. Just be able to throw with freedom. And when you get those flashes, when you get
23.
those moments like we had in that game against DeVos, there must be times where he goes, ah, there it is, I found it again.
$95. 47. 83. 180.
Fallon fills it up.
She hasn't been able to throw 3 straight darts in this leg, then finds a maximum
61.
to get control. And that's why she was smiling all the way from the dart going in to coming back to the hockey.
80. 140. Fallon requires 124.
Bullseye this time.
99. Tony requires
O'Shea
80.
needs 80. Kind of has to hit the treble. Well, not that treble, Tony, but he does get a clear look at the bull. Clears it by a
35.
distance.
Fallon requires 25.
There could be a distance here on the scoreboard. Fallon Sherrock, double 8. Maybe a double 4 for a 3-0 lead.
17. Tony
She's
requires
just not making
45.
things easy on herself this evening.
Game shot on the third leg.
O'Shea takes
Tony
advantage.
O'Shea.
Sherrock could have been pretty much home and dry in this game.
Fourth leg. Tony
But
to
again,
throw
it's that right
first.
smile, the wasted
Game
opportunities
on.
for Fallon Sherrock. She did, of course, reach that World Match Play final on Sunday, but capitalised on somebody else's wasted opportunities in getting there. Lisa Ashton missing
46.
bucket loads of darts at doubles to get to the final herself.
Straight back on it here, Fallon Sherrock. Second maximum of the game.
Interesting
60.
to see if she can follow it up. Not going to be. Someone said in the chat, Matt, that ever since the Super Series started, they've been trying to predict the 6 to make Saturday, and they've never got
40.
the whole 6 right. So I might throw the question to you. Who are your 6 for Saturday?
All right then. Connor Scott.
100.
I'll give you that one.
Colin Osborne, Stuart Kellett.
So that's the top 2 in Group C.
Ashley Coleman. Fallon Sherrock. Ron Meulenkamp.
There's the bold one.
59.
Because Meulenkamp's yet to pick up a point in this group. He's going to be in action against Tony O'Shea in a couple of games' time as he looks to turn his evening around.
97. $60. Fallon requires 126.
Disagree with any of those, Chris?
41.
Certainly not the first 5.
60. Fallon requires 85.
I think we're pretty much aligned, to be honest. Just looking at the fixtures.
29.
It may well come down to
Tony
2
requires
consecutive matches. The last match tonight and the
116.
first one tomorrow between Meulenkamp and DeVos.
42. Fallon requires 56. Game shot in the 4th leg.
I said earlier on, Fallon Sherrock not making things easy on herself tonight, but that makes the task a lot easier. The breaker throw for Fallon Sherrock, and she'll have
5th
3
leg. Fallon to throw
opportunities
first.
to get her
Game
second win of the day. Move on to 4 points, which would be joint top of the live table.
96. 30.
Well, as usual, when Fallon Sherrock's playing, haters in the chat room. That's Gemma Hater watching on. Another great top talent in women's darts. Good evening, Gemma. Maybe, just maybe, she'll step on the Super
46.
Series stage herself at some point.
$180.
Back-to-back maximums, so Fallon Sherrock takes a tally up to 4.
140. Fallon requires
on this occasion.
45.
Doesn't make things easy for herself right at the end of legs.
Game.
But finally
shot.
manages to ice the
And
cake
match.
successfully.
Fallon Sherrock.
A 4-1 win for Fallon Sherrock against Tony O'Shea, who could not reproduce the level that he found in his previous game. It's in and out from O'Shea this evening, but Fallon Sherrock has been consistently decent, and that was a well-deserved 4-1 win. Capped off with a 1-2-1 checkout for the 12-dart leg in there as well. She climbs to 4 points, level at the top of the table with Ashley Coleman, who is back in action next against Gert DeVos. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series from the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And Ashley Coleman is currently off to a perfect start. On the march once again. Had a great Group A campaign. Narrowly missed out on qualification for Saturday night on legs one. But a win here would see him take another step towards realising that darting dream. The opponent in this one, the Belgian Gert DeVos, who, if he wins, well, that would throw a spanner in the works, joining Coleman and Sherrock on 4 points. Tonight, guiding you through the action myself, Chris Murphy, and Mr. Matthew Edgar, prime time himself.
First leg, Gert to throw first. Game on.
Prime time calling the action, but it could be ticket time. Because you asked me when we sat in the studio not too long ago, Chris, at what point do people need to start thinking about coming down on Saturday night and booking their tickets for an Ashley Coleman show?
60.
Well, if he is to win this game, be on 6 points. He'll be 4 points clear of a qualification place. This could be
56.
the moment.
$125.
Yeah, like what I've seen from Ashley Coleman this week, he's been, you kind of called it at the start of the show.
100.
He's been the darts player, hasn't he? Not the sort of celebrity, if you like, that he is in his social
100.
media circles. Really has just got on with it. Unassuming. And very, very effective.
$94.
Levels of consistency that we've not seen from him before.
$100. Gert requires 170. $105. Ashley requires 116.
Just the one treble needed, which he finds tops.
76.
That target was so
Gert
successful
requires
for him across his Group A
65.
campaign.
$53. Ashley requires 40.
Gets another go at it. Can he just crash in off those barrels? No.
20. Gert requires
Big
12.
chance to break, goes begging.
Game shot in the first leg.
DeVos holds on to his
Get
throat.
DeVos.
Did just want to have a bit more of an in-depth chat with you, Matt, about next week's
Second
lineup,
leg.
which
Ashley
we
to throw
revealed
first. Game
about
on.
half an hour ago. You drew attention to a certain player in
57.
Group C, which was Jamie Atkins. But just to run through that whole week again, Conor Heenahan, Tom Lonsdale,
140.
Simon Adams, Thomas Banks, Stefan Hendrick, Moreno Blom, Scott Campbell, Jamie Atkins, Martin Grierson, Steve Hine, Scott Mitchell, an
97.
interesting name, Mike van Duivenbode, who did used to have a PDC tour card, promising youngster, has been out of the game for a while, but he'll be making his return.
37.
I think a lot of people will be looking forward to seeing Simon Adams back here at the Super Series, won't they? A player who did come here just before Christmas as he was preparing for a
60.
campaign at the Alexandra Palace. And he was a very, very popular figure. Ended up getting through to Saturday night. And expect that every time he wins a leg, he was going to look into his hands.
94.
Part of his celebration he uses as a bit of thanks.
Funny that, because every time I throw 3 darts, my head ends up in my hands.
133.
Thomas Banks as well, ADC
80.
qualifier, the youngster. He's been playing some
Ashley
really good stuff
requires
recently.
154.
Don't have the sort of blockbuster names that we've had recently, but some ones to watch.
76. Gert requires 150.
Brilliant. This would be a blockbuster.
Game shot on the second leg.
Gert DeVos produces
DeVos.
it. Treble 19, treble 19, double 18 to complete the 150 combo.
Third leg, Gert to throw first. Game on.
Coleman, for the first time in this group, facing some adversity.
41.
There are two players that have played each other
48.
in a Group A campaign Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday this past week. And with that in mind,
25.
Coleman will be aware that a chance is likely to present itself somewhere, because one thing Gert DeVos has not done is just put players away.
180.
Always seems to be a bit of a story, a bit of context around the Gert DeVos games.
23. 180.
That's something we saw quite a lot as well in Group A, wasn't it? Ashley Coleman backing up the max with a max.
54. Ashley requires 93.
When he just finds that purple patch, there's no stopping him.
57.
Feels like he might have found it.
58. Ashley requires 36. Game shot on the third
He's
leg.
found that double.
Ashley
Works his
Coleman.
way back into this game.
Fourth leg. Ashley to throw first. Game on.
If you haven't seen it yet, great viewing here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel.
60.
Behind the scenes with Ashley Coleman's good friend, the darts referee, Jack Langston. Very insightful stuff.
140.
Part of the new On the Hockey series. Simon Whitlock and Mason Whitlock
100.
also featuring as well. Really enjoyable dynamic between father and son there, who actually disagree on a lot of things if you watch it. Well worth a view.
60.
There's also
100.
an upcoming episode that features Ashley Coleman himself predominantly. That is going to be available on
140.
Saturday. So the best way to make sure that you're the first to see it is to subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. It'd be nice to
41.
learn a little bit more about the man behind the dart player.
161. 40. 49. Gert requires 121. 113.
Sort of too good there,
Ashley
but
requires
he'll be
151.
expecting to come back, hoping to come back. He will be back.
95. Gert requires 8.
To break straight back.
Game shot on the
Not be
fourth leg.
frustrating for Ashley Coleman, who got that
DeVos.
breaker throw with that really powerful performance in the last leg. Put himself back in contention.
Fifth leg. Gert to throw first.
Gert DeVos
Game on.
now with a bit of comfort. Comfort's not been a good thing though for Gert DeVos. He's not been much of a front runner this week.
71. 96. 55. 81.
It's a strange dynamic in terms of who's in what group this week. Gert DeVos actually only got into this group on leg difference, didn't he, by 2 from Colin Osborne. I think DeVos would be quite happy to switch places.
180.
Osborne went through the card in Group C this afternoon.
41.
What a time for a maximum there, Gert DeVos. That is first of the game. Just gives him a bit of breathing room here. He's going to be first to a finish. He's going to be first to a double.
133.
He may have time to take it out. Actually, Coleman's been perfect so far, 2 from 2.
60.
He's staring down the
Gert
barrel here in
requires
fixture number
62.
3.
Double top.
22.
And a win for Gert DeVos here would blow this group wide open.
100. Gert requires 40.
Coleman won't run away with it. Moments ago,
20.
Matthew Edgar mentioned
Ashley
it.
requires
DeVos has not been the
123.
best at crossing the line.
It's always been with drama. You could end the story here
39.
with a double
Gert
10.
requires 20.
And there it
Game,
is.
Shot.
Drama
And the
ended.
match. Gert DeVos.
Danger averted. DeVos victorious. And Coleman defeated for the first time in this group. In fact, the emphatic nature of the win has actually seen Gert DeVos leapfrog both Ashley Coleman and Fallon Sherrock. And he now tops the table on leg difference. Those three on 4 points. Tony O'Shea on 2. And Ron Meulenkamp yet to get off the mark. And the bottom 2 are about to do battle. That's coming next. Next up at the Modus Super Series, it's a battle in the basement of Group B between Tony O'Shea, who has 1 win to his name. This is his final match of the evening. And Ron Meulenkamp, who after 2 games with 2 remaining, is yet to pick up any points. He was joint favourite to win this group. And Matthew Edgar alongside me thinks that he will still get through, but I think for him to do that, he's going to have to start winning, and he's going to have to start winning now.
Absolutely. Must-win game here for Ron Meulenkamp going up against Tony O'Shea, who's not quite been at the races fully tonight, but he has picked up a win. That win over Gert DeVos, so he's got hope himself of getting it through to Saturday night.
First leg, Tony to throw first. Game on.
But Meulenkamp, really, it's now or never. This is the one to win.
140.
Yeah, nice and measured as well there. He's a free-flowing thrower. He always has been, Tony O'Shea, but he liked that first start, and instead of just letting the next two follow really quickly, he kept the same
100.
pace of throw.
One thing you can't question tonight
63.
is the desire to win for Tony O'Shea. You can see it written all over him.
Always great company off the stage, Tony. I've had the pleasure of
121.
sharing the comms box with him before. Lovely guy. Plenty of stories. It'll be some book when it's finally
50.
published.
$55.
From one of those sort of
83.
darting hotbeds, isn't he, O'Shea, from Stockport up in the northwest?
Cheshire being quite a darting county over the years, produced some
100.
good talent. Being Stuart Keller, who play this afternoon, Group C. Also coming from Cheshire. Luke Littler, Nathan Aspinall.
65.
Yeah,
Ron
Cheshire Open won by
125.
Luke Littler at the weekend. Although I do believe Stockport is now classed as Greater
65.
Manchester.
Tony requires 100.
The Cheshire Open so big, he even made Sky Sports News.
Absolutely. Oh, look at this.
80.
Tony can't get two
Ron
tops.
requires 60.
Meulenkamp just needs one.
50. Tony requires 20.
Let's go back to what we said earlier on in the night. I think O'Shea's going to be better off with the doubles down towards the bottom end of
Game's
the
on the
board.
first leg.
He keeps finding
Tony
that double
O'Shea.
10.
Baring his teeth
Second
tonight is
leg,
O'Shea.
Ron to throw first. Game on.
Maybe he was playing a little trick in the practice room. Said that I went in and had a little chat. Obviously, everybody else was there as well. Oh, I'm just here to see how I'm playing. Certainly shown a lot of
140.
competitiveness on the stage. Maybe caught one or two unaware.
$140.
Stubbornly stays there, doesn't he, when he's seemingly blocked part of the bed, but so often he'll actually find a way in. Years of practice, I suppose.
31. $45.
You will have to be delighted, won't he, Tony O'Shea? Everything would have felt new. Everything would have felt like a first when you haven't played competitively since January. We're talking 7 months.
136.
It's a long time to be away from competitive action.
100. $140.
Could fill it up.
125.
We've done it
Ron
twice
requires
already tonight,
54.
Tony O.
This has been A little loose at times from Ron
Game
Meulenkamp.
on
That'll be a
the
relief.
second leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
There's been those moments where he's had runs of wayward darts. He's playing to a decent standard, but
Third leg, Tony to throw
the
first.
timing's been off, hasn't it?
Game on.
The timing of the release has been completely off for Ron Meulenkamp at times, just completely lifting the arm.
100.
So it goes very loopy, putting the shoulder into the action. At times, snatching at the dart at release. He's just had to really work and grind at it this evening.
Well, I'm purely a layman, but it does
96.
appear to have one of those throws where there is an awful lot going on, which means an awful lot can go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he is to be putting himself in contention, he's got to get something on the board tonight, because he could come tomorrow and start finding it a little bit easier, start getting into the flow. We had a similar situation last week, didn't we, with Clue Bevan in Group C, where lost all of his games on the opening day, played so much better on day two, was picking up wins, but it was just mission impossible.
80. $133.
Again, O'Shea pitching a first start perfectly. Does need to find another.
140.
To find himself on a finish,
Ron
which he
requires
does.
132.
Can he find another? He deflected off the dart.
76. Tony requires 155.
Has he got a big one in the locker? Would he need to find a couple of trebles there, Tony O'Shea?
85.
The equation much more simple for Ron Meulenkamp. If we hope to leave tops, the target is just hitting the last leg.
Game
Does
on
so
the
again
third
with
leg.
no fuss.
Ron Meulenkamp.
Big breaker throw there from Ron Meulenkamp. He's halfway to his first victory today.
Fourth leg. Ron to throw first. Game on.
Well, if you are thinking of turning in for the night, don't. Next game, top billing, and for the top of the table, Fallon Sherrock against Ashley Coleman coming next. And then Gert DeVos and
97.
Ron Meulenkamp will do battle with the final match. DeVos himself looking to be top of the tree come the end of the evening.
121.
Little
55.
challenge for the chat. Tell us where you are watching from, because I'm conscious that it's 20 past midnight in the UK, but many watching around the world. And do what you should always do when you tell someone from abroad. Tell us what time it is where you are. Right now it's Tony time, the maximum.
$135.
It's very weird, isn't it, watching Ron Meulenkamp tonight? That last visit was sort of hooking the dart across himself. Then that last
100
dart there of the visit we've just seen, Meulenkamp almost throwing the last dart like without the full preparation, without the full set, and it perfect.
$100. Tony requires 100. $48. Ron requires 114.
This would really hurt O'Shea. The finish we saw against Fallon Sherrock. Can Ron repeat the feat? He can. That's
Game
class.
on the fourth leg.
From the Dutchman.
Ron Meulenkamp.
A 114 for a 15 darter. Tony O'Shea.
Fifth
He's
leg.
going to have to
Tony
do it the hard way and win
first.
3 in a row.
Game on.
Well, this is significantly Tony O'Shea's best performance this evening. He just so happens to have run
100.
into that of Ron Meulenkamp's best. O'Shea averaging 93. game before this, he was in the 60s.
54.
And this is what I thought maybe was the danger. As the day went on and the games went on, would Tony O'Shea weaken? He's actually ending very, very strong.
26.
Plenty to get involved in. Watching around the world. 20 past 11 in Iceland, apparently, so that'll be closed. Viewers from Scotland, Slovakia, Norway, 1:22 a.m.
180.
Ireland, Ghana, Ron Meulenkamp country, I think that's the Netherlands.
45.
And another maximum in this match. Meulenkamp levelling up the count.
100.
Despite the improved
Ron
performance here from Tony
requires
O'Shea, it feels
167.
like it may be in vain. Ron Meulenkamp making his move. He's got time on his side.
Does he fancy it?
Game,
Fancy it, he
shots,
did.
And the match.
And a fancy
Ron
finish.
Meulenkamp.
Gives Ron Meulenkamp reason to smile. After a slow start to his campaign, Meulenkamp gets a victory 4-1 over Tony O'Shea and the first ton-topping average of the group as well. 101.15, 4 out of 6 on the doubles. Completed with that fantastic 167 showstopper to win that game. O'Shea, he will end his evening with just one win to his name, but will still be in contention coming into Group B tomorrow. Fallon Sherrock and Ashley Coleman certainly are in contention, and they are going to do battle after the break. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Had no need to go that route, but he's found 2 trebles and a double.
16. Steps back, has a good look. And nails it for a 3-0 win.
Yeah, the match that many have been waiting to watch this evening, about to get underway. Ashley Coleman and Fallon Sherrock. The only time they've ever met was earlier this year at the UK qualifying school. Coleman won that match 6-3. Shorter race today. That was in Sherrock's hometown of Milton Keynes, where of course the PDC Pro Tour will be again next week. But right now, we're at the home of darts. Surely now Portsmouth has to be the home of darts. A live lounge, the most seen stage.
First leg, Ashley to throw first.
And Ashley Coleman hoping to be on that stage on Saturday night. You can take a big step towards it by beating Fallon Sherrock here. Or if she can get her revenge,
60.
She'll go top of the table.
Ashley Coleman looking to bounce back after disappointment in his last
96.
game. Went down by 4 legs to 1 to DeVos.
100.
But no one really taking this game, not really taking this group as of yet. I've seen Rob Meulenkamp get on the boards as well in the last game against Tony O'Shea. So everyone's cashed some points. So everyone will be in the mix come tomorrow's play.
81.
This is the last chance we're going to get to see both Coleman and Sherrock this evening. And one of them will be leaving on 6.
Yeah, Tony O'Shea knows
96.
that whatever happens, he's only going to be 2 points adrift of 3rd place. So it's not a disastrous night, is it? That can happen in Group B. If you only win 1 game in Group C,
60.
you're not going
Ashley
through, are you, in all
164.
likelihood? But 1 win in Group B is enough to keep you in.
45.
Sometimes no wins in Group B is enough to keep you in.
We've
65.
seen before, haven't we? Players
Ashley
winning no
requires
games on a
119.
day 1.
99. Fallon requires 160.
Another one of those. For tops.
120. Ashley requires 20.
Would have been heart and
Game
mouth
on the
moment for
first
most
leg.
players there, but
Ashley Coleman.
I really don't think Ashley Coleman's one of those players that get drawn into those sort of moments.
Second leg, Fallon to throw first. Game on. $96.
Well, we are half past midnight UK time on the 26th
60.
of July. Do you know whose birthday it is today, Matthew?
140.
No, you should have thought, why am I asking you that question? Darius Labanauskas.
27.
I'll have to make sure I send him his birthday card.
He always thought his birthday was in sort of mid-December, didn't he?
95.
Certainly in the first round he did, yeah.
Alex Small also celebrating today. Another former Super
60.
Series player. Well,
Fallon requires
hopefully a future Super
170.
Series player. As is Niall Cullerton, who's been in the chat this evening. Happy birthday, Niall.
44.
Hopefully we'll see Niall Cullerton back at the Super
100.
Series soon, because he
Fallon
brought
requires
myself and Paul Nicholson
126.
some cheesecakes.
$78.
Sherrock looking to level this one. It's also been a day that's seen 2 9-dart finishes, both of them at the Winter Gardens. Gary Anderson,
41.
2018. Wes
Fallon
Newton,
requires
2012.
48.
A stage where Sherrock has had success,
Game
and she's
on
found
the second
success
leg. Fallon
in that
Sherrock.
leg. to level up with Ashley Coleman.
Wes Newton's against
Third
Justin
leg,
Pipe.
Ashley to throw first.
It
Game
was,
on.
yeah. And Anderson's against Joe Cullen, I believe.
85.
Is that when the fly came across the stage?
Yeah, that was the one. The goalkeeping fly. That's actually been the final of the World Match Play on this day. Many, many years.
25.
Anderson losing a final in 2020 to Dimitri van den Berg. Michael van Gerwen winning in 2015.
58.
Phil Taylor winning in 08 and 09 on this day. Fallon Sherrock herself won the Japan Open on this day in 2015.
100. $100. $140.
On this day at the Super Series, we'll have another double session of darts. Group C
58.
getting back underway from 1 p.m. And then Group B concluding 10 p.m. on Friday night before finals night on Saturday, 7:30 live here on the Super Series YouTube channel.
119. $56. Fallon requires 117.
Oh, she leaves it very,
93.
very handy.
Ashley requires 144.
This may need to go for Ash. It's not going to go, and Fallon Sherrock's got a chance here to break the throw
83.
of Ashley Coleman.
Fallon requires 24. No score.
3 clear darts.
Ashley requires 61.
All of them missed. Well, that's an interesting route.
33. Fallon requires 24.
Kept seeing him always do that on a 1-2-1, whether his opponent was on a finish or not, if he hit the treble 20, but he's doing it on 61 as well, treble 11 for double 14. And he's going to get more at double 14 because Sherrock
Ashley
has
requires
turned 3 misses
28.
into 6 misses.
He's moved right across to the side of the hockey there, Ashley
21.
Coleman. Trying to get a
Fallon
sighter on that
requires
double
6.
7. We stay down at the bottom end of the board. Well, very briefly. Madhouse for Fallon.
Game on the third leg. Fallon Sherrock.
Picks it off eventually.
Fourth leg. Fallon to throw first. Game on.
Going to be one of those nights, I think, for Fallon Sherrock, where she might end up on 6 points and very happy with that tally, but
41.
might be a little bit disappointed that she hasn't been more convincing, more dominant, because she's been in positions in quite a lot of games, quite a lot of legs.
60.
To have just put her opponents away with less drama.
$57.
We've seen a lot of those from Ashley over the
77.
last few days.
$60. $44. $40.
I feel like this game is going to be decided in just a 90-second burst.
This is probably the worst we've seen Ashley Coleman play this week to this point.
95.
Yeah, there's been half a dozen missed darts at double in there, but only three-figure scores. Hasn't found 2 trebles in any visit yet.
92.
Well, he'd be looking for 2 bulls when he comes back.
60. Ashley requires 132. 104. Fallon requires 148.
You could see what she stopped herself from doing there. She just wanted to
41.
launch that dart in pure
Ashley
fury,
requires
didn't she?
28. No score.
It's just not happening
Fallon
here for
requires
Coleman.
107.
And this would be a painful checkout here if Fallon Sherrock is able to land the double 16. Maybe a bit too close for comfort there on the 18s, but that is exactly what she wanted to do.
Fallon Sherrock.
With a double 16, a big, big holder throw that will no doubt feel like a break.
5th leg, Ashley to throw
Where's
first.
that come from?
Game on.
Where's it been? You mentioned maybe a 30-second burst would win this match. Maybe a 3-dart burst was enough.
140.
Which got a bit of comfort now with regards to the scoreline. But she'll only have to
100.
throw once. That's sort of the saving grace here at the moment for Coleman.
121.
Suddenly he's found something after that mere mention of no 2 treble turns. Suddenly he has back-to-back visits with 2 treble 20s.
60. 80. 100. Ashley requires 160. 100.
And Coleman tees himself up. Fallon Sherrock is going to be in finishing range.
140.
So you
Ashley
may have to
requires
take this
60.
and end that doubles drought. 1 from 10.
Game shot on the 5th
Coleman
leg.
claims
Ashley Coleman.
leg 5. Sherrock now throwing for the win.
Back to his double of choice there, isn't he, Ashley Coleman? Back to where he likes to be
6th
at the very
leg.
top
Fallon
of the board.
to throw first. Game on.
But this would be the leg in which Fallon Sherrock would have eyed up when she took out that 107 to put herself a leg away.
120.
Great recovery there after losing one to the floor. Taking the maximum she can with the 2 darts. But that's the maximum you can do with 3.
180.
Ashley Coleman fighting back, digging deep.
100. 122.
Yeah, it's really moved up a gear or 2 this game.
58. 82. 59. Ashley requires 117.
A wild one. It gives Sherrock a look at
77.
a huge finish, but it would be
Fallon
a
requires
match-winning finish.
164.
Just seen Ron Meulenkamp do something very similar with the 167.
44.
It's very good from Ashley
Ashley
Coleman.
requires 40.
These tops after 12.
Game shot on this.
Legs gone in 13, and there's
Ashley
the breaker
Coleman.
throw that he's going to need. He has really gone through the gears here in the back end of this game. Fallon
7th
Sherrock
and final
hasn't
leg.
been able
Ashley
to
to throw
confirm
first.
the W.
Game on.
Well, very similar statistics, the pair of them.
58.
In fact, the finishing itself, both of them exactly 25%. And both will feel they've missed opportunities, but have also been given opportunities.
36. 1 100.
What a time this would be to find your first maximum of the game, and that's exactly what Fallon Sherrock does to give herself some hope of breaking the Coleman throw in the decider.
46.
Maybe this is the burst.
100.
Here comes Ash.
180.
And in a flash, he's first to a finish.
Both players hitting a maximum in the last leg shootout. This brilliant again from Fallon Sherrock, asking the question of Ashley Coleman.
128.
Can you get the conversion of 297 in 6?
Oh, there it is. What an end to that game.
Ashley Coleman.
It was a slow burner to start with, but then suddenly it sparked into life. And in the Battle Royal here at the Super Series, the Prince beats the Queen as Ashley Coleman sees off Fallon Sherrock in a last leg decider. A last leg decider he won by taking out 117, with Sherrock, who put in a great leg of darts herself, waiting on a 2-darter to pick up the points in that one. She ends her evening on 4 points, winning half of her matches. Ashley Coleman wins 3 out of 4. He is top of the table, but Gert DeVos could replace him if he can get the better of Ron Meulenkamp after the break.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Line.
They've both got the talent where they can just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only needs the one.
Shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
Shot on the third leg.
Is that the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowska. Game shot.
Well, Smith, is it a 9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot.
Well, he gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
game shot on the fourth leg.
Just like that. Only needs the one. There you can see
that she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great guide.
Shot on the first leg.
It's a breaker throw for Andres Harrison.
Shot on the second leg.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Right then, here we go. The final match of the night here at the Super Series, and it is a battle between Belgium and the Netherlands as Gert DeVos takes on Ron Meulenkamp, who's looking to turn his night around after losing each of his first 2 matches. The bomb bounced back with the performance of the evening. A 4-1 win over Tony O'Shea with a 3-figure average to boot. But Gert DeVos has been the sort of under the radar, quiet assassin in this lineup. And a victory for him. We'll see him move level on points with Ashley
first.
Coleman, and
Game on.
with a better leg difference, therefore would finish night 1 top of the table.
Kept himself in contention, didn't he, with that big performance against Tony O'Shea, Ron Meulenkamp.
135.
Really does look to have found his mojo once again. For Gert DeVos, I guess we don't really know what we're going to be getting.
174.
It's a perfect start.
Yeah, had the knowledge of his own darts to switch after the first dart.
58.
Treble 20, gets himself a 174. And that's perfect. This could be perfect.
180.
That's 6. The numbers that matter now are 147. We've been teased to a 9-darter a few times this week.
138. Gerd requires 147.
The teasing continues.
42.
On for the 147, missed
Ron
it on the
requires
green.
170.
The 9-darter doesn't go. What about the big fish? Oh, Ron needs a new rod.
85.
It's been quite ironic, actually, because had that had
requires
gone,
105.
Gert DeVos would have actually lost the leg, and the only way he could have won it was with a 9-darter.
57. Ron
Still
requires
may
85.
lose the leg after that brilliant start. 25 and Bull. Good little barrier to bounce it in off, but he can't manage
55.
to do it.
Gert requires 48. Game shot on the first leg. Gert DeVos.
No problems there for Gert DeVos. Well, Meulenkamp.
Second leg.
Pumps
Gert
his great
to throw
48
first.
finish, pal.
Game on. $57.
I know you're not one for all the fist bumps.
78.
Congratulations to opponents, the sort of before the last leg, that kind of thing. But is that where would you offer one in a 9-dart attempt?
85.
I mean, not a 9-dart attempt, because technically every single leg should be a 9-dart attempt. But I suppose if there was a 9-darter, I may break the rule of player interaction.
Well, say if they miss the double 12, that's it. No, you failed, mate. I'm not giving you anything for that.
No, I'd actually be quite happy if they missed it, because it means I'm still in the leg.
77.
Who was the player who was here recently who just kept offering a fist bump
80.
in every leg? Oh, it was, yeah, just been informed in my ear. John Michael, the Greek superstar.
140.
He was refusing his practice starts, didn't want those, but he was acknowledging everything that happened in every leg of every match with a fist bump.
Unless his opponent offered it, then he refused it.
103. Gert requires 142. $64. Ron requires 60.
So this to level up the match, cancel out that early breaker throw.
Game shot in the
And that's
second
exactly
leg.
what Ron Meulenkamp does.
Meulenkamp.
It's an interesting game, this, isn't it, for Gert DeVos in particular, because
Third leg.
they're winning it and he's closing in on that horizon, that promised land of Saturday night, but defeat, and he's really vulnerable all of a sudden.
100.
That's the nature of this Group B. We thought it was going to be tight. We thought it was going to be close. We thought it was going to be the total opposite of what we're expecting to see in Group C, where
82.
it does look like the two players in the top two positions are going to run away with it, but we will find out for sure. We're back later on, well, this afternoon.
95.
1 p.m.
We may see Meulenkamp start on the 19s here in the best bid to leave a finish. Two treble 20s required to do so now. Not going to happen. Can't really make his mind up where to go, having blocked two targets.
$56. $29. $100. $42. Ron requires 150.
Well, it was a super start from Gert DeVos in this game, but it's been all Ron Meulenkamp since. And he's carrying on that
58.
Strong standard from his win against O'Shea.
I suppose that's the beauty
40.
of a Group B campaign.
Ron
You're never really
requires
out of it.
92.
You can start to find your form.
$43.
You mentioned that timing of the throw. That was just sort of a lazy last start, wasn't it?
He's really got to
100.
work at it tonight.
Ron requires
Meulenkamp.
49.
They've got to force the issue when all those moving parts aren't working in sync.
Game shot in the third leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
Maybe about to sink Gert DeVos in this last match of the night.
Fourth leg. Gert to throw first. Game on. $60.
Thanks for being with us tonight. If you haven't watched every little bit of the action, we will reflect and analyse all of it at the end of this game.
46. $39. $180.
Second max of the match for Meulenkamp.
100. $45.
Not really sandwiched between too much. 46 and 45 either side of the maximum. It's like watching Chris Murphy dance, isn't it? Or would it be 26?
45.
Nobody wants to watch that.
There's been someone in the chat all week, hasn't there? They've been really calling for you to play. But then again, the same guy, I believe it was Charlie, was
59.
asking Phil Bars earlier on what his standards like. See if he could play in the Super Series.
Scott in the chat saying he needs to hurry up and sort his driving licence out so he can come up on finals night. Seriously, loves watching the Super Series. Well, we enjoy the fact that you do watch. And if you do want to come
115
on a finals night, Scott,
Ron
I don't know where you're
requires
from, but if you
85.
want to come on the train, I will book your ticket to the venue. £2.
75. Gert
Hoping to book
requires
his ticket
32.
to finals night on Saturday, but Gert DeVos out to stop him. Could be a huge game, this and their match, the first fixture tomorrow night, could end up determining which of the pair go
Game
through.
on the fourth
And right
leg.
now it's deadlock.
Gert DeVos. Fifth leg, Ron to throw first. Game on. $100. $78.
Feels like there's not much between the par levels of the players so far tonight, and every game's just sort of spun on a little 6-dart exchange.
96.
This one, no different. All just looking like it's going with throw at the moment.
140.
Well, now can't leave a finish.
100. 100. 58.
Well, DeVos in the opening leg couldn't take out the
60.
147 for the
Ron
9 darts.
requires
Can Ron Meulenkamp
147.
show him how it's done?
$59. Gert requires 123.
16s. Leaves the ball.
Game shot in the
That could be the
fifth
big
leg.
moment.
Gert DeVos.
When we talk about 6 darts that can separate a leg and separate a match. 3 to end the leg.
Sixth
3
leg.
to kick it
Gert
off.
to throw
And
first.
that could be the gap
Game on.
that sees Gert DeVos get the job done and end the day top of the table.
$121.
Big blow for the bomb. How will Ron respond? That's how.
180.
Number 3 for Meulenkamp in the match.
64.
Gert DeVos is to win this game. The only game we'd have lost is the man bottom of the table, Tony O'Shea.
Funny old night, funny old game.
100. $83.
He is again playing decent stuff here on Meulenkamp. He's one of those players who's got the habit of playing well without actually looking like he's playing well.
60.
See Ashley Coleman, who walks up, chucks the darts in 3 seconds flat and just gets on with it. If he's averaging 90, it looks brilliant.
72.
Where someone who's so
Ron requires
methodical as Meulenkamp, you
161.
can sometimes be deceived as to actually how good the performance is.
He needs a treble here.
64. Gerd
So
requires
for the bullseye to
161.
guarantee the 2-dart possibility.
$93, sorry. Ron requires 97.
Treble 16 is the target. Now tops is the target. And we
Game
go with the
on the
distance.
sixth leg, Ron Meulenkamp. Seventh leg, Ron to throw first. Game on. $97.
We mentioned how this match could be pivotal. That means this leg could be pivotal. DeVos wins it. He's top of the table on 6 points.
140.
And 4 clear of Meulenkamp. But if Ron wins it, the pair of them are neck and neck. Both on 4.
60. $58.
Just one more big visit, one more big shot. A couple more trebles.
$45.
It's big advantage now for DeVos. 299 can get very tricky if you don't work out the maths correctly.
57. $59. $140. $60. Gerd requires 106.
Not doing it in this visit.
49.
Does leave it well placed.
$100. Gert requires 57.
To get the job done.
Game.
The job
Shot
is done.
And the match.
And that could be
Gert DeVos.
huge for Gert DeVos. Could be very, very damaging for his Dutch opponent, Ron Meulenkamp. Ends the evening with just one win to his name, despite being joint favourite to win this group. It's DeVos who beats him to go top of the table after the opening evening of matches in Group B, which we will reflect on at the other side of this. So the first night is done in Group B. And Matthew Edgar, I suppose we're not really any the wiser, are we? Everybody's, as they often are in this group, still in contention.
It's what we expected, isn't it, from this group? Very, very tightly compacted. We didn't know what to expect from Tony O'Shea tonight. He ended up being a bit of a joker in the pack in the end, being a bit of a tricky customer. But I don't think anyone really performed consistently throughout tonight. And I think they'll all probably feel that maybe they could have won all 4 games tonight had they been on it.
Yeah, well, here is a recap of what happened, all 10 of the results this evening. A couple of maybe important ones in the last 2 games, both of them going the distance.
Big comeback there from Ashley Coleman against Fallon Sherrock. It was just starting to get away from him. He lost the game previous to that and then were 3-1 down, but really battled hard and shown us a different side of him as well. He's found a lot of things coming to him as a front runner this week, but had to dig deep in that one and found his best from behind.
Yeah, and the way that he closed out that match was particularly impressive, wasn't it, with the 180 backed up by the big finish.
The 117 finish it was from Ashley Coleman. Great conversion there. Fallon Sherrock did her part. She hit a maximum in that leg as well to give herself about a 100-point buffer going into those final 6. Big pressurising shot forced the issue for Ashley Coleman, and he confirmed with everything that we've been saying about him so far about this improved level of performance as a dart player, all there in that 117 finish.
Yeah, probably had to hit it as well. Stepped up. Sherrock, as you can see, waiting on 57. Coleman puts it away, and that, well, it could end up being the difference between him getting through and not, but on the balance this week, you have to say he deserves to make it to Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. He was in that big battle, wasn't he, Group A with Connor Scott. He's looked very, very good. He's been probably, outside of Connor, the most consistent and the most reliable performer. So I think he will be there. He doesn't have much to do now. He's got 6 points on the board. It's a great position to be in overnight. Very rarely do we see people go in with 6 points and not get through. And I don't think we're going to see Ashley be any exception.
Yeah, he was joint favourite along with Ron Meulenkamp to win this group. Now, he's had a strange evening, really, Ron. He had the best performance. He's had the best finish, a fantastic 167. But he'll be the most disappointed, without doubt, won't he?
Yeah, moments are okay, but moments don't get points on the board. You've got to be reaching to 4 legs, and Ron Meulenkamp, unfortunately, tonight's just not been at it. The throw breaking down at times, a lot of lift, not enough extension with a snatchy release. So there's a lot to be worried about from Meulenkamp. However, every day's different. He could come tomorrow, just all feel different, and he'll be able to get himself back in the mix. But the main thing is you got points. If you've got points on the board, you've always got a chance, and he'll come out swinging tomorrow.
Well, here's an indication of the task at hand tomorrow. The table looks like this. Meulenkamp and O'Shea on 2, Fallon Sherrock in the middle, splitting the difference on 4, and Coleman and DeVos both on 6. Probably only in need of a win. 2 wins will definitely be enough for either of those players. As for Tony O'Shea at the bottom, he's got a couple of points. He's got a win to his name. Actually came against Gert DeVos. Has he got something to cling on to tomorrow and ambitions of making it through to Saturday?
I would normally say, yeah, always in that situation, but we know what the problems are with Tony O'Shea at the moment. He'd be happy with how tonight's gone. How does day 2 go? That's now the concern, because he's had a day up there. Does it now become a bigger issue on day 2? I know myself, when I played in this sort of around the January period, I was certainly suffering with the injury myself at the time. Day 1 was okay, 3 wins. Coming to day 2, got nothing. And it felt so different from day 1 to day 2, because the efforts that you have to put in on day 1 take the toll on day 2. He hasn't played since January. So I would fear that maybe tomorrow we see a bit of a regression.
Well, we will find out tomorrow. Matt, thank you for your insights and your company today. And thank you for your company as well. We hope to get it again tomorrow. 2 sessions of darts coming your way. Group C gets back underway from 1 p.m. and then the conclusion of this Group B at 10 p.m. on Friday night. Don't miss it. We'll see you again tomorrow.